anything that she does technically is considered, if she did something crazy, would be considered a violation of the law. So you're okay until that happens. The thing is, someone can still like cross the law, and by the time you get back to them, the business is destroyed. Well, the challenging part is now with the current relationship, you making steps to locking things down is taken as an act of retaliation. So, but like, okay, let's take a step back for a second. So, you have a key employee that's threatening to do something. You fired them, and the leverage they have against you is the fact that they have passwords and access to things that could potentially damage the business, right? Now, is there any... And why, like, in what legal world does that even make sense? Because she can't do that.
Our car got booted, guys.
We paid, I promise.
So all these are reserved. This one was not. And so we went over there and paid for it, but we still got booted. And the car over there got booted too. That one. Turns out that parking meter is for the street.
You know, I'm short, but I feel like this shouldn't be down at the ground level. You know, we're supposed to go scan the QR code, which is on the other side of the parking lot. Makes sense, just doesn't make no sense. You know
Right.
For years. They want to get that up, and you need to replace the name or to pickle any stuff down and see what the rest
$130 later.
You have to add that to the turnaround budget.
Yeah. We thought we were getting away with
$2.15.
$2.15.
We were like, man, that's so cheap.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
We're gonna
I was
die.
like, how do I get off this?
We have a emergency alert, Amber Alert on our phones.
Amber Alert. Isn't that for missing children? This is a flood warning.
This, I don't know what it's called. Amber Alert, Emergency Alert, Weather Alert. National Weather Service, a flash flood warning is in effect for this area until 1 o'clock a.m. This is a dangerous and life-threatening situation. It's not to be funny. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing an area subject to flooding or under an evacuation order. Zach would hate to be on the second floor. It's like, supposedly there might be a tornado on the south side of Austin.
We are on the south side.
That's right.
Perfect weather to be doing.
Whoa, the wind is really picking up. Oh my word. I've never seen a tornado. I want to see the tornado. I want to see the twister right through our parking lot. It's going to be great.
We'll see how tomorrow morning.
Just as long as it doesn't hit our car.
Well,
It can hit all the other cars. Ooh, we got lightning, folks. We got lightning.
Turnaround numero uno. Today's Home Roots Lawn Care Landscaping. This is the smallest turnaround on the show of this show. By the way, you know, turnaround shows are exhausting. And then they're like, oh, you know what? Let's do 5 of them. Well, 4 turnarounds and another video in 1 week. So this is the longest week we've ever had in terms of turnarounds. We've never had. I don't think we've ever done 4, and plus another video. They got just like a pond, a hamster in their wheel.
His overhead dramatically, like a lot, by getting a bunch of debt. Then we went out during the winter and had to get a $50,000 line of working credit, which basically what they do is they're going to take usually 10 to 15% of every transaction going forward. So you're basically robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like you're robbing your summer and fall profitable season to get through the winter.
Less projects coming in? Yeah, so like we got really heavy on the project side that naturally kind of scaled by itself, and then the recurring revenue has kind of just been there.
Yeah. In terms of the construction side, what's kind of your wheelhouse? Like I know you mentioned the pickleball court. That seems like that was a one-off.
Kind of, yeah, out of the norm.
But what's sort of like the bread and butter? Is it like
Probably like the $20,000 to $30,000
okay, so
refresh.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then from your perspective, when someone calls in for a recurring job, are you selling them from here, or do we send TC out and do the estimate?
Depends.
Okay. Okay, so that 50 grand is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, cash on hand is still around
None.
three grand. Maybe not.
Yeah, no.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So it's rare for a home service business. Do you want to do the whole casual thing again?
Yeah, we
Or
can go
just-
more casual.
Okay.
Yeah, I know for the intro at least, we want to do the kind of the two
Right.
takes of it.
Right.
Are
Yeah.
you feeling?
Okay, I get your thing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
It's rare for a home service business to have an actual physical office space that you can bring customers into and do sales presentations. And usually it's not necessary if you're doing smaller ticket items. Today, we're in Texas, visiting TC from Home Roots Landscape.
TC made over $500,000 in revenue last year, but right now has tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt and has no cash in the bank. Is that too much?
It's a long sentence, but did I really write that? Is it Home Roots or TC?
I think
It'd be too repetitive because you just got done saying visiting TC from Home Roots Landscape.
Okay, so TC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt and no cash in the bank.
Yeah.
Just right. You know, semis truck weren't just enough. We needed to have a train.
We're between Austin and here, and he's just that reliable. I know Joe's coming. I don't even check the GPS in the truck. I'm like, he'll be there. He'll probably beat me.
That's crazy. So how many for these locations now? What do you, for recurring? What do you got for mowing and then what for the scoopsy?
Yeah, so we're at, I don't know, individual. We're around roughly 20 scoop customers. We can do deodorizers and sanitizers for the pet waste out of them, and our weed control.
Good morning, people.
Banatali.
A little sleepy. We got like 6.5 hours of sleep last night, if that.
Where'd you get
'Cause we-
6 hours of sleep? You got
We went to bed at like 11:30,
Oh,
11,
okay, that's not so bad.
and woke up at 5:30. We're still in Austin, Texas. This is our last turnaround here, and then we're gonna drive up to College Station.
Brianna was getting steps in her sleep last night.
Oh my goodness. Like apparently around 4:30, I was running in my sleep.
Literally running. I thought she was fighting, like having nightmares. I woke her up. Whoa, the lighting's really good on
It's
that.
actually not bad.
It's
right
like
here.
pitch black out.
Yeah, apparently I was running. But I wasn't wearing my watch, so the steps didn't count. Yesterday, we saw TC Bliss and his business.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
He's very optimistic though.
He was honestly, like, given his circumstances, such an optimistic guy. Very likable, very, very nice guy. But yeah, given the circumstance, I feel like any other person would have just been, like, kind of stressed out of their mind, but he seemed like he had it together.
0 cash, 25,000 plus in credit card debt, loan on a Bobcat and truck, $50,000 of a jobber loan, and they take 20% of every dollar until it's paid off. So he couldn't really go into recurring revenue because all of that was being ran through Jobber and Stripe, and so because he like I couldn't tell him to increase that because they just take 20% off the top, which is all his profit. So we had to really go in like, hey, you gotta go get big projects. So it was like one of the first turnarounds where we really talked about sales process of big projects, like $50,000+ jobs.
And then after that, we met up with Ryan Payne, which I think I got a couple clips of. Just did more of like a shop tour because he owns like 5 Augusta locations.
Yeah.
So
He
like an
started
interview
to
style,
Austin.
which will be on the HSM channel, Home Service Millionaire, eventually. So that was sick. And now we are visiting a friend.
This one's tough because he doesn't really have any pain points as much as like he feels stalled out. He's been at the same place for 6 years. He can't figure out how to like delegate things to his employees, which are actually his family. And yeah, he had to fire his brother a month ago and then bring him back. So there's some tea. There's some tea.
There is some tea.
So we gotta
He
figure out.
touched on it over there a little bit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is
In front of his brother. But it was very much like, he can kind of look back on it and almost not laugh about it, but kind of like elbow his brother in the ribs a little without it being, you know,
Too bad.
Anyways, that's the update.
I mean, I don't maybe use them enough, but eventually as I got older and I remembered, then so I started helping my dad out again. So that's
Basically, day rate, is that kind of what you're using right now?
yeah,
Got
kind
it.
of, but also kind of based on what the day is.
Right.
I feel like that's lessened the bleed in regards to any kind of visa I'm aware of.
Right. Having that, you're going to have to create a checklist, prioritization, and success metrics for that person. So they should walk into this job knowing what to do, what in what order, and what priority to do it, and what means they are doing a good job. What's the success
How to
metric?
measure.
Yeah.
Post-coaching thoughts.
I tired. No really good dude. Basically in that limbo spot like 500,000 where you need an admin person or someone else to take stuff off your plate, but you can't really afford it. So just like figuring out how to navigate that for him so he can take the business to the next level. Good dude though. I like him a lot.
Very good. Do you think he can solve
Oh
the
yeah.
6-week plan before 6 weeks is over?
Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks, I think so. The challenging part is like creating a checklist, prioritization, and success metrics for an admin person can be daunting because like there's so many little things that you do in a day. But I think he'll do it.
He seemed fired up after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like this is one part where education actually helps. Like having a bachelor's in science degree helps me know that he can prioritize. He knows how to create like checklists and like do that stuff. So I could kind of glance over those things, knowing that he will figure that part out.
Mm-hmm.
You pour a whole bunch of new customers into that funnel, and all of a sudden, like, oh my word, I need someone to answer the phone. Oh my goodness, like, I can't get to all these estimates. Oh my goodness, like, I'm getting all these irrigation leads. Maybe I can't do the irrigation myself. And so you identify the constraints many times by like, testing it. So even in software, we will put 10 times the amount of traffic on the site.
Come on, you're failing at this. The leads part of the 4.0 framework.
That's a good throw. The hot dog eater. If he dunks it, he swallows it in one
Oh
go.
yes, Mike knows the deal. Like they're only going after the manageable pieces.
First, they're just hanging out in the street. It's like, yo, folks,
Yeah.
here's the mother love. Invested, bro. You're my friend. All right, baby, the vlog is gonna get exclusive access on the turnaround.
Okay.
So tomorrow, this guy's doing 1.7 million in revenue. He's a young guy, but he bailed.
He bailed. He got cold feet. And then Mike posted on the story like he had one more slot left for a Texas trip.
What we need it. There's one second on touch screen. Boom. You want to continue your dialogue?
So he got cold feet, texted, said he's not going to do it anymore. And then Mike posted on the story that there's one more slot left for the turnaround
$1.
for milk, you guys. And then he came back and was like, is there another spot still left? And I was like, yeah.
Although we have no numbers.
Oh my word, I asked for his documents like 4 different times.
Profit and loss and all that.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't have it.
He said he would get it to me later, and he never did.
Lies.
I have a feeling he doesn't have a piano.
I actually agree with you.
So it's blind. But once again. We're blind. I feel like what I think I'm gonna get into today is a bunch of equipment that hardly gets used. A bunch of team members. He said he burned through 25 team members and he has a team of 12 right now this year. So that means like probably an average span of like 2 months per person. And that's fine if you're doing simple services, but if you're doing complex services of excavation and pools and massive installs, you can't be having a bunch of new employees. Like unsafe, it's very difficult to manage, it's an absolute train wreck. And so I feel like that's what we're gonna be walking into. And it's kind of like, because you're young, you don't have a lot of expenses, you can kind of get away with it. And so I feel like he's skated by using these 0% credit cards, which is so high risk. So high risk. I also feel like we don't have a balance. Well, I know we don't have a balance sheet to look at, but I feel like if we were looking at it, he wouldn't even include the credit cards because like, oh, there's 0% for like the first 12 months, and that is one way to grow a business. It's also extremely high risk because right now he has no money in the bank, which we know that's true, and he has 0% interest on these credit cards that he's bought trucks and equipment on. There is eventually a day of reckoning.
What's up, Mike?
Brother? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
This is a great little spot you got here.
Yeah.
Is this your house?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So, I was telling them, my best friend built this shop with his bare hands.
So do you have any thoughts right now?
It grew a ton, and it's really only in the past like 6 months. Basically tripling in size, and a whole bunch more employees. There's 3 employees in December, and now 6 months later, there's like 12 or 13. So, very good. Big fan of growth. Let's go. I do think there's some other things that we're not hearing yet. So, like he's using credit cards to buy trucks and then pay them off in 30 days.
but then he also said that he'll take debt out as long as it's under 6%. I think there's a lot of just like reporting and like financial indiscipline.
You know what else? I'm not saying this to stir up some tea, okay? But I do think maybe because of the character he kind of is or wants to portray, I do think he's trying to fluff it up, make it look better than it is. Because Luke told me that just yesterday they got some of the trucks
Two of them.
wrapped.
Yeah, 2 of them wrapped, and all the stickers
I don't
put
know
on
if
the
that was.
equipment.
Yeah, so I don't
Well, they
guess
just
like.
bought a new truck too.
We're out here using machetes to hack down the bush along this building.
Well, it's not a bad thing. It's just like we need eye gear and not next to each other with
Bare
open-
hands next to each other.
Man, folks,
That's
someone's gonna die.
crazy.
Someone's gonna die.
Hopefully they have good insurance.
Poor drone.
Got hit by a semi.
It got hit by a car.
Were you like facing the road and it came up behind you?
It came up behind me. Yeah.
That's so brutal.
The drone is no more.
Rest in
unfortunately.
pieces.
The battery survived. The SD card survived. So all the footage is there. But yeah, the poor drone is no longer functioning.
Yeah, I was looking through his Instagram, and like 2 or 3 weeks ago, on his business page, he was at the courthouse getting a ticket for being overloaded and not having a CDL. I don't know, because I was looking at that truck that they were using this morning. It was massively overloaded. It's a double axle dually, so you need a CDL to have that. Double axle dually trailer with a dually truck. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 14 tires. You need a CDL. OSHA would not approve. I think it's just in part like when you grow that fast, you're young, you really don't know what you don't know. And I think that he has a huge amount of charisma and salesmanship, so being able to grow on that angle. And now it's a matter of like, hey, great, I'm super excited that you are so good at selling, super charismatic and passionate, and have a great personality. Now it's like, let's create systems and procedures and infrastructure so the business isn't in jeopardy because of the chaos that is created when you have what's it called? Machetes literally swinging at people's ankles. We have chainsaws without any eye protection, ear protection. Like, I don't know. It's just at this size, like, to your point, it's like one big job going bad or not paying us on time. We're just in a really bad spot. And I kind of liken it to driving a semi-truck down the street fully loaded without anything on the dash. And you just don't know how fast am I going?
Yeah.
How much do I weigh? Are my brakes okay? What's the temperature gauge? Like, I don't see any of that. Like right now, like how much is in the actual checking account? And it just fluctuates.
It's gonna go out on June 1st. I owe $10,000 to the skid steer. And I'm trying to pay that off ASAP, so I don't have interest on it.
The hurdles, and then like what do we change?
Okay.
Right. So liquidity right now, I see it as we are hitting zero at some point throughout each month. When we have to pay off the credit cards, we essentially hit zero.
Someone that is struggling as a business owner that has to lose their business and then ends up, being miserable for part of their life, like you can help them, and you are helping me from refraining from having that happen, and that's just incredible. So, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I just love that.
Thank you for being vulnerable. I know it's hard to get like us to publicize the lower moments in the journey. But the thing is, there's hundreds of thousands of other people that are in the same thing. They just they have too much pride for me to come out. And so our goal is to highlight these so that, yes, you can improve your business, but also that other people that have too much pride to not have me come out can just use the exact same recipe and hopefully fix their own business, Yeah, it went good. Better than I thought, honestly, in terms of coaching. I thought he would kind of clam up on us a little bit.
I did too.
But he didn't. He was very humble and honest, and I gave him a very difficult 6-week plan. But if he can do it, the business will look amazing in 3 months. But it's a tough one. It's really hard. Like it's a lot of things that I would usually do 2 of those for a 6-week plan, and I gave him 6 things to do.
Yeah. What do you think the comments will say?
Oh, they're not gonna like him though. But But this is the thing. He will redeem himself if in 6 weeks he did all those things. All of that, like, you can go fly a kite if in 6 weeks all those things were done, because his business is going to be phenomenal. And by the way, you're not 20 years old with a 7-figure business, so go fly a kite.
Yeah, right? And he just turned 20 recently,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Shout out to him.
We're on our way to the last
We have no brand for every lead. So right now, like almost every single lead that's coming in is for LSA. To our knowledge, I would love, and we can't do it now because we really need every lead. I would love for one day for us to turn off the ads of LSA. I have a sense that you would still get 60 to 70% of your leads.
That was Ty and Seth with EcoWorks Plumbing. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if they're gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just feel like they have a lot on their plate. They have a lot of emotional baggage with the divorce, and I don't know if actually. But I would love to be proved wrong because it's an easy fix, honestly, in my opinion.
Okay, folks, we are home. We have the grand total of what the May turnaround trip cost. So I will say, here's a little asterisk. This is slightly cheaper than our usual turnaround trips just because we were able to do it all in one state and we didn't have flights in between, unlike next month. Here is the May turnaround financial breakdown. For travel, that total was, so that would be flights and the car, and like luggage. What else was accounted for in that? And gas?
Yep.
Okay. That total is $8,222.48. For food and accommodations, accommodations being hotels, that total is $5,103.02. Brianna in the editing studio here, there was a slight miscalculation for the food portion of it because we missed a few transactions, so the correct grand total is actually $5,337.02. And then production wages, teams pay, that is $13,160. For a grand total of $26,485.50 for the May turnaround. So that's actually not bad compared to normal. Okay, that's all. Thanks for watching. I'm feeling sick.